Good morning, Year 5. We are going to be starting something new in English today. We're going to be looking at this poem by the fabulous Roger McGough. Roger McGough is quite a well-known poet, children's poet. He's been around for a long time. He's been around since I was a child. And this poem we're going to be reading, having a look at it, looking at its structure, and then writing our own version of it tomorrow in a live lesson. So I'm going to start by reading you this poem. And I want you to, if you find it easy, I want you to close your eyes as well and listen to, and listening is very key in this poem actually. I want you to really listen to the words. This poem is called The Sound Collector. A stranger came this morning, dressed all in black and grey. Put every sound into a bag and carried them away. The whistling of a kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock, the popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes. When you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes. The hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill. The drumming of the raindrops on the window pane. When you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain. The crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. A stranger called this morning. He didn't leave his name, left us only silence. Life will never be the same. Okay. So just take a moment to think about what that poem is about and how it starts and then how it ends. So this poem starts with a life full of sounds, of normal sounds, and ends with absolute silence because a stranger has come and taken those sounds away. What an odd thing to do. I wonder why a stranger would do that. Okay, we're going to have a look at the structure of this poem. And we're going to do that by using symbols, just like we did in the biography. And they, again, are linked to the plot points that we use in our writing. But this time, the symbols are going to break down this poem. So let's look at those together. So we start with this opening section where a stranger arrives. So we start with a dilemma, a problem, if you like. And this problem is a stranger has arrived. And this stranger is dressed in black and grey, very mysterious stranger. Put every sound in a bag. And at that point, when he puts the sounds in a bag, we know that this poem isn't real. We know that it's like a metaphor. An extended metaphor is called an allegory. And it's a bit like that because this man obviously can't put sounds in bags. Sounds aren't physical things that you can pick up. So we know at that point that it's an imaginary poem, but still a very beautiful poem. So we have our dilemma to start with. Let's look at where we go next. Here is our dark stranger. Maybe he looks like this. I imagine him to be quite old, this man. I'm not sure, but very mysterious. I don't think we can see his face. I don't think we ever know what he looks like. Okay. Our next section, we've got the whistling of the kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock. Now, I think that the people in this house are just getting up. The popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes, when you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes. This sounds like the morning to me. So I've put a symbol here that means morning, because that's what I think we've got here. I think all these things are something that you would do as you get up and you're starting to get ready for the day. You're having your breakfast. Maybe the turning of the lock might be opening the back door or the front door. Possibly the lock in the bathroom, actually. Yeah, that's more likely, the lock of the bathroom. Popping of the toaster, crunching the flakes, so you're having your breakfast. So I think all of this are things that would happen in the morning. These are all the sounds of the morning. Let's have a look at the next section. Now we've got sounds of just the house, general house sounds. We've got the hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill. So we're still going through maybe our morning routine, but we're all inside. Everything here is inside. So we start with our problem. We move on to our morning sounds, our getting up sounds, and as the day continues, we've got inside sounds. So what do you think this next section might be about? The drumming of the raindrops on the window pane. Let's have a look. I think we're moving to sort of more outside sounds now. The drumming of the raindrops on the window pane, that's coming from outside. So although we're still inside, those sounds are outside. The gurgle of the drain, I think that means the drain that's outside, the one that leads around the side of the house. So we're still inside in this poem, but those sounds now are coming from outside the house. Then I think we've moved through the day into night time, maybe. The crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. I think maybe we've moved through our day and we're now into night time. And now for our final symbol. This is where we get the impact of the poem, of the stranger coming to take everything. So we're sort of left with everything bare and empty. He left us only silence. Life will never be the same. So this is the impact of what's happened and how things are now. So it's actually quite a sad poem, really, because it leaves you empty of sounds, and sounds are so important. So just looking through our symbols again, we've got our problem, our dilemma to start with. Then we've got morning sounds going into inside sounds, then sounds that are happening on the outside of the house, into night time, and then the impact of those sounds disappearing. Now you know those symbols, I would like you to read the poem with me this time, and I want you to be really thinking about what section of the poem we're in each time, using your symbols here to help you. So let's read it together. The sound collector. A stranger came this morning, dressed all in black and grey, put every sound into a bag and carried them away. The whistling of the kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock, the popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes. When you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes. The hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill. The drumming of the raindrops on the window pane when you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain. The crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. A stranger called this morning. He didn't leave his name, left us only silence. Life will never be the same. I wonder why that man wants those noises. I wonder what he's going to do with them. That's the beauty of poems like this, is that you can wonder things like that. I wonder what you're wondering at the moment, what questions you have about this poem. Will we ever get sounds back again? Will the man return the sounds? What does he do with them? Does he put them in jars? Does he keep them? Does he listen to them at home? Lots and lots of questions. Okay, what we're going to do now is look at the rhyme structure of this poem. We talk a lot about a lot of poems not rhyming and how poems don't have to rhyme. This one does have a rhyme structure. So let's just focus on this first stanza here. A stranger came this morning, dressed all in black and grey, put every sound into a bag and carried them away. Can you say out loud now which words rhyme in that first stanza? Did you get it? It was the words grey and away. Rhyming words are always on the ends of sentences because that's sort of where they stand out. Sometimes you'll get a rhyming word halfway through a sentence that will rhyme with the word at the end, but generally they're at the end. So we've got grey and we've got away. Now that pattern we've got there is called, we name each line after a letter of the alphabet. So this would be line A. Sorry about my messy writing, I'm trying to write small again. That would be line A, and the next line would be line B. Any line that rhymes with one of those, you give it the same letter name. Now, bag doesn't rhyme with morning or grey, so we call that C. Away rhymes with grey, so we go back to B again. So we've got A, B, C, B. That's our rhyme structure. What I'm going to do is write it over here so you can see it a bit clearer. A, B, C, B, which means all the words on lines B rhyme. A, B, C, B. So morning is A, grey is B, bag is C, and then away goes back to B because it rhymes with grey. So our rhyming words there are grey, which I can actually write in grey, and away. Let's see if that works the same in the second stanza. Kettle, lock, they definitely don't rhyme, so that's A and B. Kitten, they don't rhyme with kettle or lock, so that's C. And then clock does rhyme with lock, so we go back to B again. So that follows the same structure, A, B, C, B. Kettle and kitten, of course, are interesting because although they don't rhyme, they are alliterative because they've both got that k and the t in the middle, kettle, kitten. So they do sound similar, but they don't rhyme. So here we've got lock and clock. Let's look at the next one and see if that follows the structure. Toaster, flakes, marmalade, makes. A, B, C, back to B again. Yes, it does. So we've got flakes and makes. Don't think you can really read my F there, can you? Okay. Pan, grill, bathtub, fill. A, B, C, back to B, grill and fill. So we've got those two words. Just trying to get a different colour up. We've got grill. We've got fill. Raindrop, so drops, pane, up, that's ABC, and then drain, pain and drain, they rhyme as well. So pain and drain we can use here. And I've got to check the spelling of pain because it's a homophone. This kind of window pane hasn't got an I in it. It's a split vowel digraph. Pain and drain. Pain when you're in pain does have an I, same as drain. Okay. Baby is A, chair, B, curtain, C, stare, chair and stare, they rhyme, so we're back to A, B, C, B. So we've got chair and we've got stare. And the last stanza, morning, name, they don't rhyme, A, B, silence, that doesn't rhyme, so that's C, and then same does rhyme with name, so those are both B. So we've got name, same. So on all the stanzas, we've got that same pattern, A, B, C, and then back to B again. So lines 2 and lines 4 are the rhyming lines. Okay, what I want to look at now are the words that the poet, Roger McGough, has very carefully chosen. So we're going to look at the morning section, which is here. And if you look, as well as the rhyming words, he's used lots of ing words, lots of ing words. Can you remember what type of word those are? They're verbs. Lots of verbs that end in ing. So I've got my checking symbol here from my Fantastics, which is the hearing sound. And I want to look at all those words that have ing in them. So we've got the whistling of the kettle. So we've got whistling on there. Whistling, and that one's got an H in it. Sorry about my awful writing. We've got the turning of the lock. And that, although you can't always hear a turn, I'm thinking it's a creaky lock. The purring of the kitten, you can definitely hear a purring if you've got a loud kitten. The ticking of the clock. That's an ing word you can hear. Popping of the toaster. We've got crunching of the flakes. And as we go through, that pattern continues. So they're all our morning words. When we get to, we've also got actually throughout the day, we've got hissing, ticking, bubbling. And as we get through to the night sounds, I've got the wrong symbol here. I do apologise. Right, I've corrected it. I paused it and correct it. So as we get through to the night sounds, we've got more of these ing sounds. We've got crying. We've got squeaking. I've thought of something else that's interesting about these words. Swishing. And creaking. Now, what's really interesting here, if we look at the morning sounds and maybe the ones that go through the day, they're all quite positive. Purring is definitely popping, ticking, well, unless you're me, because I can't bear the sound of a ticking clock, but crunching, when you're crunching your cereal, your cornflakes, turning of a lock, they're all positive sounds. But here, crying, squeaking, creaking, they sound quite negative to me. Maybe not the swishing of the curtains, but I think they're quite negative sounds. So I think that's another really clever layer the poet's done. Positive daytime sounds and negative nighttime sounds. So that stranger obviously wants to collect all sounds, whether they're positive or negative. That's really interesting. Now, tomorrow, we've got a live lesson together where we're going to be writing our own version of this poem. But for today, you've got a choice of activities. Your choice of activities, for those of you that are confident to do so, I would like you to record a little video of yourself performing this poem. Don't panic if you're not confident to do that, because there is an alternative. So I want a recorded performance, and I don't want that to be just you standing there saying it. I want you to really think about it. Maybe you could use props to make some of the sounds. Maybe you could have the words behind the camera so I can't see that you're reading them. Maybe you could use your voice in a really exciting way. So I want you to really think about making it a performance. That's if you want to do that. If you don't, I want you to draw images that this poem makes you think of. And they could be positive images, like toast popping up, or they could be negative images, like the crying of the baby. So I want you to draw images that this poem makes you think of. So it's quite a nice activity today, and it's some time away from reading things on a screen as well. So either record a little video of you reading it, or draw some images that this poem makes you think of. If you can do the video and you're struggling to upload it, or you don't want other people to see it, which I don't think they do actually, your work is all private, but you can always email the video to me as well. I know some of them might be a bit big, so it might be a bit tricky too. But I can always see them maybe when we're all back at school. So don't worry if you're struggling to upload it. But the pictures will be great to see. Okay, I will see you tomorrow where we're going to be writing our own version of this poem. So have fun with the poem today, enjoy it, really think about it. And tomorrow we're going to look more deeply at the poem and the structure and the rhyming and the ing words that have been used so that we can write our own version. So I'll see you then.